Crash D has a question out there in the audience. This young lady right here was the very first person in the building.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you? I'm Ashley, and I'm just going to ask the usual girl question. So, you have, reading the blogs, you went from Erykah Badu to Serena Williams, and they seem like very different ladies. So what do you look for in a mate when you say, well, yeah, I'm going to look over her and she's going to boo, this, that, and the third?
Boo, to get boo status, you gotta be like, you gotta have a good heart. You gotta like carry yourself like a woman, like a real woman. Independent, strong, but still a soft woman at the same token. You also gotta be able to have fun, be fun. You gotta believe in a higher power, believe in God. And you know, that's some of the main things, you know, like you gotta value and respect other human beings. You ain't gotta be perfect, because I ain't perfect, we both trying to grow. And I do like, you know, diversity in women, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, yeah, you gotta be this, you gotta have this big old booty or nothing. Like Serena and Erykah do have. You know, sometimes, you know, it's these different shapes and sizes as beauty comes in. You ain't gone, are you, girl?
Hey, where you going? You asking a question and left? Because you got a big booty, you come on back. I'm just serious. Okay. All right. We got another question from the audience.
First of all, I'm from Chicago, born and raised on the South
What
Side.
up? South. What up?
Okay, well, also my profession is I'm a director and an actress and a singer and all of that. So I want to zero right into Scott McKnight. I want to know, when you have these different roles, that you've done different things, but that's been one of my favorites. So the role of Scott McKnight was so authentic that I want to know how much of Common is or is not Scott McKnight. Now I do know you had a desire to play basketball, so not talking about the basketball, but I'm talking about the holistic, you know,
the way the human being was.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Scott McKnight is probably the character that I played that's closest to me. And the irony is, when we first started doing the movie, I'm so used to, I want to do characters that are far away from me. You know, I like doing the bad guys, or I like being able to play somebody from 1865. Right. And so when I had to do Scott McKnight, it was like, basically they just wanted me to bring the characteristics of me there and, you know, be this ball player. I had to get used to doing that, but yeah, that character, Scott McKnight, was probably the closest character I played to me. And my game is NBA status too, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Because you said in the book that Baron Davis gave you a compliment when you were shooting. Like, he was like, okay, you got a little something.
Yeah, him D-Wade too, which was, it was amazing, man, because, you know, playing against D-Wade, you think you're good and stuff, but then you start playing against dudes that's like super, like they stronger, they like faster, they just like, they the reason why they in the NBA is because they, the killer instinct, like I used to play on the court and I want to pass the ball and kind of, it was in my personality to make sure everybody was happy, you know, on the court, and that's just what type of personality I kind of have. But once I got into hip hop, it started getting, you know, basically falling up, falling down, getting done bad sometimes, not getting accepted. I was like, man, I gotta go for mine. I gotta be a killer in this. That's the only way to achieve what you want to achieve. Whether the greatest have been killers in anything, whether it's, you know, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, or even Martin Luther King. He was the greatest at what he did, you know. So that's how I started approaching what I do in anything, in music. I want to be one of the greatest actors, you know.
I wanted to know if you can create a new Native Tongues movement, who would be in it and why?
Good question. But Native Tongues, obviously coming from the De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest era. Of the new Native Tongues, I would put Kanye West, even though he's just so diverse. I would put him in there. I would put like a new artist like Kendrick Lamar in there, who's, you know, new flavor. Then you might have to go to, you could go to a, even though this is sounding like good music, you could go to a Kid Cudi or somebody who's bringing something different to bring that. Yeah, that's some of the artists I would put. That's a good question, though.
Let's talk about your next location, man. You on your way to Sundance. Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time actually, like, having a film in Sundance. It's a movie, thank you, I appreciate it. It's a film that I just starred in, directed by this young director named Sheldon Candace. It got selected to Sundance Best Drama competition, and it's starring myself and a young guy by the name of Michael Rainey Jr. It's called Love, L-U-V, but that stands for Learning Uncle Vincent. Danny Glover's in it, Dennis Haysbert, Lynette McKee, Michael K. Williams from The Wire. It's a great film. I think you all really enjoy it. I'm just glad that it's a young black director getting his shine. Right.
And we talked about the fact that we want everybody, you and I talked about, we got to make sure we go out and support Red Tails this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we got, you know what? The reviews, you know, I'm not saying they be twisting it, but they be twisting it. The reviews, somebody gave it like 2 out of 5 stars. Man, don't do that. Let's go see it 2 and 3 times, all right?
It don't matter what they say. Let's go support it.
There you go. All right. Okay, so look, Common. In the book, we always thought that Common Sense had some kind of righteous, the way you came up with the name, but it really came from weed, Common. You finally told the story.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I was down in Florida A&M going to school, FAMU, and like they called the weed, well they call it down there anyway, Cincy, but they called it that, and I kept hearing that so much, Cincy, that I just one night was sitting up thinking about a new name, and I was like, Common Sense, that's a good name. I wasn't high, I actually wasn't, like, I was just thinking about, like, man, I just wanted to come up with a name that was unique and kind of different, and that's where the name came from.
Sure you weren't. Sure you weren't.
I wasn't high, Bill Clinton style. Nah, I wasn't high for real. I wasn't, nah.
Okay, all right. As in the book as well, again, and if y'all haven't, you know, read the book, you need to go and check it out. Someday it all makes sense. You talk about the fact that you were a ball boy, and we're streaming live on bthat103.com if you want to see Common right now around the world and in Eurasia. That you were walking through that tunnel, and you saw a ghost, and you had a conversation because just talk about that experience with the whole Emmett Till thing, man, because I thought it was, when I was reading it, I was like, wow, man, that is surreal.
Yeah, it was one of those things, man, where, you know, I learned about Emmett Till, you know, it got killed by some white men down in Mississippi, and like, when I seen a picture of how bad they beat him and when he threw him in the river, it just scared me. So when I would, you know, when I had my job for the Chicago Bulls, I used to have to run under this tunnel. I mean, I used to have to walk under this tunnel, but after I heard about Emmett Till, I would run, because I thought the ghost of Emmett Till was down there. But one day I just felt that spirit there, and I turned and talked, and I always felt like that spirit was something that told me that I had to do something great in life, because like, he died so that we could be here. You know, Medgar Evers died so that we could be here. You know, people got sprayed by hoses, and Martin Luther King, and these people, like, and people that we don't even know their names died so that we could be here and do something great in our lives. So that spirit of Emmett Till always stuck with me, and, you know, it sparked me.
There you go.
Yeah.
You talk also about Kanye in the book, and about no matter what Kanye has been able to achieve financially, success, he's been the same guy. You said that he was always talking to the point where the guys in the studio are like, hey, yo, man, we finna beat this dude down, man. He's talking too much.
Yeah, definitely. Kanye would come down to my basement, and, you know, I was like, you know, I'm the guy from The Chi, like, I was the rapper that was out from The Chi getting the most recognition. So him and his guys that wanted to challenge me, you know, but we were cool. He was doing beats and stuff, and he was wanting to get me some beats, and we'd go down to No ID's basement, but then he'd come to my basement and rap against me, and, you know, I had to light him up sometimes, you know. He would do his thing too, though, yeah, I ain't gonna front. But it would be times he would just run his mouth and just be saying the stuff that he says, you know, that we all in the world hear him say, but he was saying it even in a raw way. And he'd talk about one of my friends' clothes and say something that's just bogus. And my friends be like, man, Rosh, we gonna whoop dude. We gonna have to whoop dude in a minute. I'm like, cool out, man. But after a while, people kind of not stop taking it personal, but still let them know, hey, you say the wrong thing, we gonna throw some blows on you. We gonna scuff you up. But Kanye always been the same though. He a good dude. He a good-hearted guy. No matter what anybody says, I always known him to be just a good person, you know.
I want to thank everybody from Warner Bros. For letting us have this today. Of course, A Conversation with Common and B103. Our partners, Grey Goose, the world's best vodka, Vanquish, and of course, you said what you wanted to play now. We're going to go ahead and kick that off for us.
Yeah, man, I want y'all to get into this song right here. It's called Lovin' I Lost, off the Dreamer the Believer album, in stores right now, right here on V103, y'all. Yeah.